So the way this will work today, you don't need any equipment apart from yourself and your mat. Your breath is your most important tool and your brain. So what I'll do is I will start every exercise demonstrating, and I'll give you the points of what to do. Then I'll give you the points of how to do it. And then I'll come over and check on you and give you corrections based on what I see. So you can expect to be doing each of the movements today for about a minute. Cool. So we won't do a whole heap of different exercises, but you will do the ones that we focus on really effectively. Cool. All right. So I'm going to make sure that everyone is muted and we'll get started. I'm going to lie down on my mat. I apologize. I'm going to be a little bit blocked by my stage. There's just nothing I can do about that. It's 120 kilos, so I can't push it out of the side, even for class. So once you're lying down on your back, I just want you to feel that the pelvis lands really heavy on the floor. You can give your sacrum a little massage into the ground. Just feeling what it is to draw the hips back towards the ribs. And then how you can send your hips down towards your heels. So hip crests move up into the rib cage and then down towards the toes. Nice. Halfway between, this is your imprint and this is your arch. We're looking for neutral spine, and that's where your pelvis is really heavy, but also where it's flat, where the pelvic basin is flat. So we're going to set that. Take both of your thumbs into the navel and the first two fingers of both hands onto the pubic bone. So this diamond on your pelvis is how we set the pelvic basin in neutral. Your thumb and your finger will both need to be horizontal to the floor. So keep everything nice and still as you curl the ribs to the hips to lift the head, looking at that diamond. Now, if your fingers are higher than your thumb, you're in a bit of a tuck position, you'll need to send the tailbone down towards the toes. Or if your thumb's a little higher than your fingers, you'll need to curl the pubic bone back towards the belly button. And once you've found flat, you just rest the shoulders and the head down on the mat, and you can bring your hands back down by the sides. So now we've set neutral pelvis. We want to keep it there the whole time the feet are on the floor, and you can use that diamond anytime we need to find it. It's a really quick, easy solution. The next thing we're going to talk about is your T-zone. T-zone is our quick reference to the deep core, and it refers to the pelvic floor along the vertical line, as well as the transverse abdominals on the horizontal line. So the pelvic floor we lift from the perineum up towards the navel, like drawing a tampon inwards and up. And the transverse abdominal belt on the horizontal, you want to imagine either a seatbelt dishing you down into the mat low and tight, or the hip bones actually squeezing in towards each other. They don't actually move, but you want to imagine that there's this rising as well as this dishing. Cool? So rising energy on the vertical, dishing energy on the horizontal. And I'll always refer to that as the T-zone. We're going to practice switching that on 3 times. And I want you to take 2 fingers right onto the insides of your hip crests and curl them down. And this is going to give you feedback. You're going to feel how smoothly you can contract your T-zone and how smoothly you can relax it. Here's the breath. We're going to inhale through the nose to the backs of the ribs as our start. And as you exhale through pursed lips, pelvic floor is lifting, hips are dishing in and across. You should feel those muscles kicking back into the fingers. Hold that contraction for an inhale through the nose. And exhale slowly through the mouth, letting the ribs concave to the hips as we relax the pelvic floor. We're going to do that 2 more times. So inhale to prepare. Exhale, T-zone, gradually, smoothly tightening. You feel the muscles rising into the fingers. Hold for a breath in, keep it strong. And slowly, gradually relaxing as you breathe out. So this is like approaching traffic lights in the distance. They're orange as you approach, but you've got heaps of time till they go red. We don't need to slam on the brakes. You can gradually apply them. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, smooth and slow contraction. Hold it for a breath in. And slowly release it as you breathe out. Cool. Now we're going to get the shoulders moving to start with today. We're coming into arm prep. So the arms rise up, fingertips, both arms point to the ceiling. You'll be working with both arms at once today. Cool. Feel your collarbones expand and your shoulder blades press broad into the floor. T-zone tight as you inhale. Both thumbs reach back to touch the ground as you exhale. The arms come back pointing to the ceiling as you breathe in, and they extend all the way back until the thumbs touch down as you breathe out. Cool. So we always inhale through the nose in Pilates and exhale through the mouth. It helps you contract your diaphragm. And speaking of contracting the diaphragm, that is the actual purpose of this exercise, to move your arms without lifting your rib cage. So I want you to dish the front ribs down to the hips and keep going. I'm going to check on you. Inhaling as those arms point up to the ceiling. Exhaling as they extend back to touch down on the ground. Nice, keeping the ribs dishing down to the hips, keeping the pelvic floor contraction at about a 4.5 out of 10. You don't need to be at 10 out of 10 here. And being mindful that the shoulders stay on the floor and that the elbows don't bend. You're looking really good. Just do one more of those. And once you inhale the hands up to the ceiling, you can exhale, rest them down on the ground next to your hips. We're moving along. It's lift a foot time. So with this one, we want to focus on just lifting one foot at a time, keeping the pelvis really still. T-zone tight, we inhale. Lift your right leg to tabletop position. So that's the knee right on top of the hip crease and the heel in line with the knee as we exhale. Inhale it back down to the floor and exhale to switch to the other leg. Inhale to control it down to the ground. Exhale to lift. And all we're doing with this exercise is making sure we can transfer the weight smoothly from foot to foot without rocking from hip to hip. We want to keep the rib to hip connection, dishing the belly down, keeping the shoulders flat on the ground. So I'm going to watch you do just a couple and then we'll move on to the advanced part of this. Nice. Exhaling to lift one foot, inhaling to control it back down onto the ground. Wonderful. Moving on to lift and extend. We're going to inhale the right leg up to tabletop. Exhale to reach out long through the tiptoe. Inhale, bring it back to tabletop, and exhale, replace it on the ground. Switching sides, left leg up on the breath in. Extend long through the toe on the breath out. Bring it back to tabletop, inhale. Replace smoothly as we exhale. So it's a lift and breathe in. Keep the belly flat as we extend and reach out. Keep everything still as we come to tabletop and exhale the foot to the floor. Switching sides, lift on the breath in, push away on the breath out, return on the inhale, replace on the exhale. I'm just going to check on you as you do one more of those on each side. Really reach through the ankle to the toe. And finishing on the left side, the next exercise that we'll work on this morning is our single leg circle. So to inhale the T-zone tight, extend that right leg until it's long and straight. You don't want to over reach it to the ceiling because that'll lift your tailbone off the floor. So just extend the leg, take an inhale, lift the pelvic floor, 5 out of 10, and exhale the leg straight down towards the ground, not too low. We want to then turn the thigh out to the side and inhale, semicircle the leg up to where it started. So we're in neutral, so the leg is straight as it comes down on the exhale. We turn it out as we sweep it up on the inhale. It's like a letter D. Exhale it down, inhale it up and around. Be really mindful that your left hip is still pushing through the floor, that the knee isn't wobbling. If that left knee is wobbling, just tailor the size of this single leg circle. You can make it smaller. We want the left rib cage as well to stay on the ground and both shoulders to be pressing broadly and flatly into the floor. You're looking really good. We're going to change the direction of the semicircle. Exhale it down the straight line, keeping the belly flat. Inhale it back up, turn it out to the side, circle down and away. Up on the straight line, then find your turn out, circle down and around. Now, if you have any snap, crackle and pop in your hip, that's tendon snappage and we don't want that. So you might need to take your leg a little bit higher and keep the range smaller. You have to experiment with staying away from the tendon snap. Inhaling it up, exhaling it down. I'm going to switch sides now. So bring the leg all the way back up as you breathe in. Bend the knee, replace the foot on the floor, breathing out. T-zone tight, left leg extends. Inhale, really point the toe. Trace it down the straight line as you exhale. Turn it out, semicircle up and over, breathe in, and then tracing it down again as you breathe out. So Pilates is really famous for this dished out belly shape, this strong scooped core. So to get that, you really need to focus on scooping this part of your rib cage down towards the hips and lifting the pelvic floor on the inside of that. Let's switch direction. Exhale down the straight line. Inhale it back up, then turn the foot out, circle down and away. Rising in neutral, turn out to circle down and around. Keep going. I'm just going to check that your bottoms are nice and flat on the floor, really pushing the tailbone down through the ground. Good. You got 2 more. It's looking really nice. Inhaling to the backs and the sides of the ribs, exhaling you to dish the belly. Inhaling the left toes back up to where they started, and then exhaling the foot back down onto the ground. So we're not going to be doing any crunches today because we're spending a lot of time at home, which means that our shoulders are in flexion more than they need to be. We're going to instead lift our legs into a tabletop position and come to our single toe taps. So inhale the right leg up to tabletop. Feel the tailbone press down as the left leg rises as well. Now, if you feel that your back is a little arched here, which I certainly feel, you need to focus on drawing the ribs and the hips towards each other until that gap starts to flatten down. So we don't have to really press into an imprint, but we do need to reduce the curvature. Pressing the shoulders down into the ground. T-zone tight now to 60%. We inhale. Right tiptoe is going to reach down to the floor without anything else moving as we exhale. Bring it back up as you breathe in and switch over to the left as you breathe out. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Rising on the breath in. So once we're up in tabletop and we're fighting for this position, we start to pop out through the low belly. You can bring one hand onto the low belly to remind you to keep dishing the ribs to the hips and to keep using the T-zone. Because this belly pops up when we lose the T-zone or we arch the back. So we want to think about ribs to hips and the T-zone tight. Now to make this exercise easier, you would tap the toe closer to your bottom. To make this exercise harder, you want to extend through the front of the hip until it touches down further away. You're going to keep going with this just a little longer, making sure we're moving one leg at a time. I'm going to check on you. Tells you need your heels up higher. Yes, but keep your tailbone on the floor. Looking really good. Really nice. Last one here on your left leg, bringing it back up. We're going to switch now into our bicycle legs. So T-zone tight as we inhale. We're going to extend the right leg out long and straight as we exhale. Bring it back as you breathe in, and then the left leg will move away as we breathe out. Keeping the shoulders flat on the floor. It's much more valuable to us at the moment than lifting them and curling them inwards. So really thinking about rib to hip, then through knee and toe, and bringing it back. You don't have to aim these low. You can think about extension first, and then lowering the leg is the challenge. And when you bring it back towards you, just be careful that that thigh stops right in line with your hip. It's not moving back towards your belly. And when you're bringing the leg towards you, you're not lifting the bottom. Cool, so we want to keep that tailbone really strongly grounded. We have 3, 2, 1. Bring it back to our start position. We're moving into our Pilates 100s preparation now. So we're going to curl the body up as we sweep the arms down to the hips. Take a breath in to prepare. As you exhale, curl from the rib to the hip, eyes are on your knees, and the hands come around in a circle to the hips. We're going to slice the arms through the air as we control back to the mat. Inhale, circle them around, curling up as we exhale. Inhale the arms back as the head comes to the floor. Exhale, curl the rib to the hip, eyes on the thighs. Are we ready to add on the legs? As we exhale and curl up, take your toes to the ceiling, keep your hips down on the ground. Inhale as we bend back to tabletop and the head comes back to the floor. Exhale, curling rib to hip, sweeping hands around. Inhale, slicing the hands up as the feet come back carefully to tabletop. So with this one, your catch out points are dropping the feet too low as we return to our start position. You want to make sure that those heels are stopping in line with your knees. And we want to keep the knees right on top of the hip creases at all times. So the knees are never shifting forward or back. They're staying exactly where they are. You keep going. I'm going to check on you. Inhaling to bend the legs to tabletop. Exhale, circle the arms down and around. Inhale, slice them back. Exhale, scoop around and sit up. You don't ever want to take the hands back behind your shoulders, guys. You want to start and stop here, because if you take the arms back, the ribs release. We let go of the abs. So we want to keep the rib to hip connection throughout the exercise. Nice. Last two. Circling from the shoulder down to the hip, returning back to the shoulder. Last one. And you're done. Now you can hug your knees in towards your chest, but keep your head on the floor and take a little rock from side to side. You can even circle over the low back if that feels good for you. Excuse me. All right, we're going to move into our Pilates 100s after our 100s prep. No surprises there. I'm going to demo this one before we get going, because this one you need to stay and hold your position for quite a long time. If your neck strains at any time during this exercise, a couple of things could be happening. You could be in a chin poke, so you need to remember to keep the chin tucked in. Or you might not be curling the ribs to the hips enough. So this is always the place to check. Chin tucked in, rib to hip curling up. You're going to inhale for 5 pulses of the arms and exhale for 5 pulses of the arms, either in this position, or this position. Cool? So they've got 3 levels. But if your neck strains at any time, you support the head with the hand, keeping the elbow wide, and continue pulsing with the other arm. And you can change, give it 20 seconds or so and change hands. The other options, if it's still too much, support with both hands. And if it's not helping, rest your head on the ground and keep going with the pulses. You'll still be working your core. All right? So we're all going to start together in tabletop position, and you'll have your hand on the outer edges of the thighs. Cool. So tabletop position, imprinted spine, shoulders back and down, hands on the outer edges of the thighs. Inhale your T-zone tight to 70%. Exhale, curl your rib to your hips, sit up nice and tall. Inhale, wrap the shoulders back, then exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. I bet you can sit up a little bit taller if you really try. And maybe you want to give level 2 a try, extending your toes towards the ceiling, but pushing your tailbone down through the ground. Inhaling for 5 and exhaling for 5. You can always come back to level 1, but please don't put your feet on the floor until I say we're done. Now, if you want to make this even more challenging, flex your feet. Turn your toes out, keep your knees and your ankles together as you take the heels down, scooping the ribs to the hips, keeping the shoulders wrapped down. Inhaling for 5, exhaling for 5. Now you're going to keep breathing, keep squeezing, keep pulsing. Don't quit on me just yet. Keep hollowing that belly down. I think all of you can sit up a little bit more. Curl the ribs to the hips, lift up, keep the chin tucked in, eyes on your thighs. You are here for another 10. Shirin, push your tailbone down through the ground. 9, 8, 7, 6, good, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, rest. Yeah, I like that. I saw Sam Fairburn drop the feet. That's the splat that I need. That's good work. Take your arms and your legs out long and straight. Have a big stretch. Cool. Okay, so now we're going to come into an exercise called our scissors. If your hamstrings are really long and happy, maybe you did splits class with me last night, then doing this with straight legs won't be a drama. If doing this with straight legs is too much, you can do the exercise coming back to bent legs. I just want you to look for where your heel is over your hip. Cool? So you want to try and get the heel over the hip as our start position each time. I'll demonstrate this exercise before asking you to join in. You have 2 different options for the arms here in our scissors. You can either be in our Pilates 100s position. We're going to exhale one leg slowly down and inhale it up without dropping the hip, without losing the T-zone. Cool, and then you'll switch to the other side. If that's too much for your neck, remember, rib to hip curl up, but also you can support the base of the skull with the collarbones and the elbows wide. It's entirely up to you. If your neck was hurting in your 100s, then you're going to need to support the head with the hands here. Let's all start together again. We'll start with the legs already extended this time. And again, if you've got sciatica, you'll need to bend the knees, but keep the heels over the tailbone. T-zone tight, we inhale, exhale, curl up, rib to hip, reach longer, longer, longer through the fingertip. Wrap the shoulders back and down, breathe in, that right leg's gonna lower as you breathe out. Keep it small to start. Bring it back as you inhale, take the left toes down as you exhale, up on the breath in. So we test the waters. Every Pilates exercise, keep your legs nice and straight, Sam. Try and use pointy toes, long lines. Only one leg moves, and it doesn't have to move a lot. Cool, test the water, see how much you can control it as you take it out and bring it back. Good, keep going. Keep that tailbone pressing down through the ground unless you have low back pain, in which case you will curl that tailbone under. But if your low back isn't hurting, keep pushing the tailbone through the floor. Reach long through the knees and toes, looking really good, Ebony and Ro, looking really nice. Sam, I want you to try and reach your toes a little higher to the ceiling. Bring them back towards you a little bit more. Yeah, that's it. Beautiful. 3, 2, you've got to finish on your left leg. Woohoo! Hug those knees into your chest. Give them a squeeze. This time you are 100% going for 3 circles in one direction and 3 circles in the other direction. Looking really great, guys. I've got Cora dancing on Tel's iPhone. It's very cute. Doing a little skip around on Mummy's mat. Fantastic. Okay, how are we feeling? So I was going to do just one more exercise here on our back before we move along onto glute work. This one's called the beats. Cool. So we're going to flex and externally rotate the feet as we beat them together. I would like to do 4 rounds of 5 beats and then check in with you to see if I can make it harder or if that's where we're going to have to hold it. The option again is to have the hands at the base of the skull. The other option is to have the hands extended, which is where I'll be. And I'll demonstrate this one for you. I'll angle it towards you slightly. So I'm going to inhale I'm going to start here. Inhale my T-zone tight. I'm going to exhale, flex and sit up. Inhale, my feet open. And then I inhale down. So I'm going to come up like I'm in my Pilates 100s prep, but I'm going to flex and turn my feet out. Inhale, we open, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale it down. Let's all join in together. We're going to start with our arms up, our knees bent. T-zone tight, we inhale. Curl up, press away, flexed. Exhale, inhale apart, then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale it down. Use your huff. Exhale, sit up. Inhale, heels apart. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale it down. We've got 2 more to go. Curl up and send the heels out. Heels apart, inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Let's go. Exhale, drive those heels away. Open the legs just a touch, and then bang, 2, 3, 4, 5, and done. Cool. I might leave that one there for this week. How are you feeling? You feel those abs working? You had a bit of a core workout so far.
Pain.
Pardon?
I just said pain.
Pain. That's good. All right. We'll leave abs there for now. We're going to start working on our pelvic curl series. So if you're lying flat on the floor, have the legs extended now and see if you can be in something that's close to neutral pelvis. You'll probably, with the legs extended, arch a little bit. It's okay. Let's see if you can find something close to neutral. This is called glute prep, and it's really important to do before the pelvic curl sequence. We're going to inhale the T-zone tight. Then we're going to exhale our glutes on really strong. In fact, I want you to squeeze your butt so much that the hamstrings rise off the floor. Now hold that for a breath in and slowly relax as you breathe out. Let's do that again. T-zone tightens on the inhale. Buns of steel as you exhale. Hold that for a breath in and slowly soften as you breathe out. This is your last one. T-zone tight, breathe in. Glute squeeze, breathe out. Hold that strong, inhale, and slow release, exhale. Cool. So we're going to now walk the heels nice and close to the hips. Be careful that you don't step them wide. We want the heels in line with the hip bones. Cool. So we've got nice 2 straight lines. The knees will never roll in and never roll out. We're on our Pilates parallel train tracks. Shoulders roll away, press down through the ground, but often when we do that, the ribs get excited. So we're going to turn them back down towards the hips. T-zone tight, we inhale, tuck the tailbone under, and one vertebrae at a time, peel away from the floor as you exhale. And at the top, there's a straight line from your shoulder through your hips to your knees. Take a breath in, tuck and scoop. And as you breathe out, one vertebrae at a time will press down into the ground. So we're going to arch and inhale. Tuck, scoop, and peel away as you exhale. At the top, really focus on tailbone curling under, pubic bone curling to the hips, and one vertebrae at a time, we exhale, rolling down, replacing the spine on the mat. You get to roll through the bottom, inhale and arch. Exhale, tuck, curl, and peel. Good. So keep going with this exercise with your own breath. At the top, you should really feel those glutes squeezing into the center. Rolling down with control as you breathe in, breathe out, sorry. Rolling over the tailbone as you inhale, then scooping it under in one vertebrae at a time, continuing up into your bridge as you exhale. And the chin should be tucked in, the neck nice and long. You inhale at the top, find your strong pelvic tuck, and then slowly control back to the ground. Good. Nice. Careful not to lose the rib to hip connection. Often in our bridges, we feel like they should feel like a back bend. That's not what we're after. We want the ribs dishing down towards the hips, keeping the core strong. Cool. All right, at the next one, we're going to hold at the top. We're going to hold at the top of that bridge, and you're going to inhale to push the left foot down through the ground. Keep your hips really steady. You can use your hands if you like. We're going to exhale, extend the right leg. Inhale, slowly bring it back to the floor. Cool. Exhale, extend the left leg. Inhale, slowly bring it back to the floor. Let's make a rule. Let's take the leg out in line with the other thigh. Exhale, extend, follow the line of the body. Inhale, replace it down. Exhale, extend, keep squeezing the underbutt. Inhale, replace it down. Rib to hip connection. Exhale, extend. Inhale, replace. Exhale, extend. Inhale, replace. You're looking really good. We've got two more. Keep those hips up. Exhale, extend. Don't let them wobble side to side. And last one on the left. Exhale, extend. Inhale, replace. We're going to exhale, roll down one vertebrae at a time. Roll through at the bottom. And then peel back up again. Now we're going to take that work from the hamstrings and the glutes down into the calves. So inhale the T-zone tight. As you exhale, push down through the right big toe. Inhale, press the heel back onto the floor without losing the hips. Exhale, push down through the ball of the left foot, lifting the heel. And inhale, bring it back down. So we're going to do two more singles. Exhale, the heel rises. Inhale, it presses through the floor. Exhale, the heel rises. Inhale, it presses down. Let's do both of those at once now. Exhale, they rise. Keep the tailbone tucked. Inhale, press down. Exhale, the heels rise. Keep the tailbone tucked as we inhale the heels down. So don't let your butt drop. Two more of these. Exhale, rise. Inhale, hips up as we return. Last one. Exhale, rise. Inhale, return. Then one vertebrae at a time, rolling down through the spine. You get to take a quick butt stretch here. I'm going to take the right foot over the left knee, turn it out to the side. The left knee is going to draw the right foot towards you, and you can hold on either the outside of the knee or under the thigh, up to you. Try and keep your head and your shoulders relaxed and heavy on the floor. Only the butt needs to work here. Great, taking those down onto the ground. Let's switch sides. Love it. We're going to flip it over onto our tummies now, guys, and do some postural work. Okay, I'm just going to put my hair up. So come and lie onto your tummy. Today we're going to work on freestyle. So we'll start with the arms in a cactus shape, but we will not long after that, extend them forward. So what do I mean when I say a cactus shape? I mean that your elbows are just below your shoulders, your wrist is in line with your elbows. So we've got this really strong L. Be careful that the elbows aren't too far back. It'll make it impossible to keep them grounded. So we want to be almost in line with the shoulder. Your tailbone's going to need to scoop under as the belly button rises up off the floor. And we're going to tuck the chin in and rest the forehead down on the ground. Now, if this is not comfortable for you, please find a cushion or a block. If you're a chin poker by postural habit, it makes it really difficult to rest your forehead on the ground. So if you need a block or a pillow, go grab one. The first thing we're going to do is inhale the T-zone tight. And as we exhale, I want you to hollow the belly and push the big toes through the floor. We're going to inhale those shoulder blades into the center of the back and then exhale as they relax. Take a breath in, squeeze, and exhale, relax. Squeezing those shoulder blades together so much that you could hold a biro, a pen, between them. And then inhale, relax, being really mindful that the elbows stay down on the ground. Squeeze, breathing in. Relax, breathing out. Last two. Relax. Last one. So trapezius prep. The muscles between the shoulder blades must switch on first before we extend the thoracic spine, which is what we're going to do now. So inhale the T-zone tight. Exhale as you press the pubic bone down through the floor. We're going to inhale the head coming up as we squeeze the shoulder blades down and back. And I just want you to look at me to see that the chin is pulling in. It's the back of my head rising to follow the line of the spine. Exhale, slowly take the shoulders down and the forehead to the ground. Make sure your shoulders really follow this movement. Inhale, we rise, squeezing the shoulders back. Keeping the eyes down at the ground. Inhale, return. Exhale, return, forward to the floor. Keeping the tailbone tucked. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale to rise, squeeze the shoulders back. Exhale, lower down. Good. All right, so that's looking pretty great. We're going to make it harder. We're going to extend the arms forward now and rest the forehead on the floor. So trapezius activation with the arms extended is so much more challenging because you have to be able to slide the shoulder blades down and back into a V shape. So inhale the T-zone tight, exhale, curl the pubic bone down, then inhale, slide the shoulders down and back, and exhale, relax. The hands will slide along the floor here. Exhale, squeeze, or inhale, squeeze, exhale, relax. Studio Pilates recently changed the breathing for these postural exercises, and I'm still getting the hang of it. Squeezing on the inhale now, relaxing on the exhale. We're going to take the head and lift it up. Exhale, tailbone curling under. Now inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades back again. Keep the elbows really straight and exhale, relax them forward. Keep looking down at the mat, squeeze and relax. So it all happens at the shoulders. Squeeze and relax. You guys look really good. Last two. Squeeze and relax. Squeeze and relax. Now you've got the option to keep the head lifted if this feels good for you. If it's too strong, go ahead and rest your head back down on the ground. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale it back down onto the ground. Inhale the left arm up. Exhale it down into the ground. Inhale right up. Exhale down. So we're going out wide like the letter Y, left and down. We're going to change this up a bit. We're going to do 5 lifts on an inhale and 5 lifts on an exhale. So inhale, pick it up tall. Exhale, tailbone under. Shoulders are back and down. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. In through the nose, 2, 3, 4. Out through the mouth, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep going. I'm going to come and check on you. These are your freestyle arms. Really lengthen the neck. Keep long distance between the ears and the shoulders. Chin gently curling in. Good. Inhale, 2, 3. One arm at a time, Ebs. So we're fluttering. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Good work, and relax. You're going to bring the hands underneath the shoulders now. We're going to do the leg. The legs for freestyle. So really important that the tailbone is curling under and the pubic bone is pressing down through the mat so that we're working the underbutt muscles and not the low back. You don't want to be loading into the low back here. So head is resting on the hands, elbows are pressing broad and forward, tailbone is scooping under. Inhale the T-zone tight, exhale, push the pubic bone down through the ground. We're going to inhale the right leg up, pointy toe, legs straight, and then exhale it down, keeping the hips still. Inhale the left leg up, exhale it down. Right leg on the inhale, really straight leg, pointy toe, exhale it to the floor. And I want you to feel this in your under bum. 3, 2, 1. All right, here we go. We're going to lift that right leg. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. So tapping the toe, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want you to lift that belly button off the ground. Keep the rib to hip connection. Keep pushing the pubic bone down. Keep fluttering those legs for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Cool. You can push it. I just got a little foot cramp there. Time to put it together. So we're going to do full freestyle with the arms extended, the legs extended. We're going to try and take the head off the floor, but just remember, if it becomes too much, you can pop the forehead down at any time. We'll start with the forehead on the ground. T-zone tight, we inhale, curling the pubic bone under, exhale. Lift the head as we breathe in, slide the shoulders back, breathe out. We're going to inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's your opposite leg to the hand. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the opposite, we're reaching through a diagonal line and reaching really long and really straight. As you inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. The arms are looking really good. Try and find rib to hip connection, lifting the belly button up off the floor, but really curling the pubic bone down. You're here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and push it back into a child's pose, guys. Great. Have a little break. Good. And you can bring your hands down next to your feet. So wrap them around the sides of the legs with the palms upturned, just to rest those little spaces in between the shoulder blades that have been working extra hard. Okay. So I'm going to take a vote. Roll up through the spine. Time to sit on your feet. So I'm going to need a show of hands. Savannah's got her camera off, so I won't know what her vote is. So I'm going to need a show of hands. I'm going to give the option of what comes next. Push-ups or horse kicks. So I'm going to say hands up for push-ups. 1. That means hands up for horse kicks. Everyone else. Okay, so we're doing the horse kicks first. We're doing them both anyway. It's just I was giving you victim's choice on what we would get to first. All right. So we'll come over onto our horse kicks. I am going to get my little prop to help me not fall over. No one needs me to fall over while I'm teaching. It's no fun. On hands and knees, please. So a couple of things we need to think about before we start moving the legs, and that's stabilizing the upper body. So spread the fingers, make sure your middle finger is pointing straight ahead, and then wrap the creases of the elbows until they face forwards. Once the creases of the elbows face forward, be really mindful that you're not hyperextending your arm. There's a gentle bend in the muscle, and we pull the shoulders back, wrapping them into the ribs. So lifting the belly button up into the spine, take a breath in. Extend that right leg out straight without arching the back. So no movement through the pelvis. Breath out. Good. Hover that knee off the floor. Inhale. Squeeze your underbutt to extend it again. Exhale. Inhale, lower it down. Exhale, lift it up. So often when I get people to start doing this, they want to really kick high and lift their head as well. Keep looking down at the mat about 30 centimeters in front of your fingers. And I want you to feel the right hip still connected to the right rib cage. So rib to hip connection stays strong. Inhale and exhale. Don't let your head sag. We're not sad. Keep the neck long. Keep the spine extended. Your neck is part of your spine. Last two on this side. 2, 1. Inhale that knee down to the ground. We're going to switch sides straight away. Wrapping the shoulders back, lengthening the spine. T-zone tight, we inhale. Extend that left leg back as we exhale. Curl it back in, keeping the spine straight, breathing in, squeezing under the butt to extend, breathing out. No movement through the hips. Inhale, lower. Exhale, extend it back. Good, guys. Keep going. Inhale, bring it in. Exhale, take it out. Back on the inhale. Out on the exhale. 3 more. Keeping that neck long. Really driving down through the index knuckle. 2, 1. Bringing that knee down and sitting back on the heels. We're going to turn the palms over so the backs of the hands come down onto the ground, and just try and wrap your elbows gently in towards each other, giving your wrists a little stretch. Good. You can interlace your fingers now and do a roll in one direction and a roll back in the other direction. So we're adding on. We've done our freestyle work for postural setting, lying on the belly. We've done our kickbacks. We're now going to turn it into a plank and coordination stability exercise. So we'll be here on all fours. We're going to extend, so you have to really slowly slide the right arm and the left leg out long and straight. Careful your back doesn't arch. Keep it flat. Then we're going to inhale the elbow and the knee in and exhale the arm and the leg out. Cool, we're going to do 10 on this side, take a rest, and then do 10 on the other side. So wrapping those shoulders back, clawing down through the index knuckle, T-zone tight, we inhale, sliding the right arm and the left leg out long and straight, keeping the rib to hip connection on the front body. Inhale, bend the elbow and the knee. Exhale, extend it out long and straight. So you've got to really think about the opposite rib and hip reaching together underneath you so that you don't arch the back and lose the core. And you should really feel your core working super hard now, much harder than you have. Keep going. This should be 6. Good. Keep going till you get to 10. 9. Really good. Abs, I want you to lift your low back more as you extend. Lift your low back. Yeah, low back. No, that's dropping it. Lift your belly up into your low back. Yeah. Cool. And then relax. Shake your hands out. Good. Let's do the other side. So right leg and left arm, 10 times. And you'll find that one side of your body is more stable. One oblique sling is more stable than the other, and that's completely normal. It's based on all of our patterns from all of our life. So T-zone tight, we inhale, extending that right leg and the left arm as we exhale, pulling the belly in, bending as we breathe in, and extending as we breathe out. Keep lifting the chest into the backs of the shoulders. Keep lifting the belly button up into the low back. So you want to feel your pubic bone still curling back towards your navel. Yes, extending on the exhale, bending on the inhale. Looking really good, guys. Keep it going. Good. You got 4 more. 3. Really nice. Last 2. Last 1. Nailed it. Sit back on the knees. Before we get to the push-ups, because we've been on our hands for a while, so we've just done a whole series for the posterior chain. We're going to do a little bit of anterior chain work. Push-ups are anterior chain. but we're also going to work on the fronts of our thighs. This is called the hinge. I'm going to do the slow breakdown of the hinge today. Tailbone is going to be tucked, pubic bone curling up into the ribs, and my arms are forward. Be really conscious that even though your arms are forward, that we're drawing the shoulder blades down and back. So I want you to imagine that you're still holding that pen between the shoulder blades on your back. You need to counter that by keeping the ribs connected to the hips. We're going to inhale the T-zone tight, exhale back into a straight line. So none of this, straight line. Take a breath in, pause here, and exhale back up. Inhale, prepare, wrap the shoulders back and down. Exhale back into a straight line. Inhale, hold. Exhale, return. Cool, so rib to hip connection, chin tucked in, back of the neck really long. Inhale, set. Exhale, move. Inhale, hold. Exhale, return. Inhale, set. Exhale, move. Inhale, hold. Exhale, return. Keep going. You've got 3 more of these. Inhale, set. Exhale, move. So really feel that rib to hip connection. Keep the head moving with the rest of the body. Sometimes it wants to drop forward. Good. You know what you're doing. Shoulders down away from the ears. Don't let them creep up. Really press them down. Good. And just give me 1 more. That's looking fantastic. All the way back. And all the way forward. Lovely. All right. Push-ups, planks, stretching. We're almost done. We're almost out of here. Short, sharp workout today. 10 minutes to go. Push-ups. So I'm going to use a block so that I can lower down with control. I really love to do a hinge. If you ever want to train push-ups on your knees, the hinge really helps you stay tailbone tucked and straight in your push-up. If you do your push-up without doing the hinge, you'll start to butt poke and become more of a drinking bird than a push-up. But if we get that hinge in first, we're training the movement pattern we want to hold in the exercise. So in a Pilates push-up, we're trying to keep the elbow right on top of the wrist. Tailbone is scooped under, the spine is long and straight. I've assumed that my shoulders are much wider than they actually are. All right, so T-zone tight, we inhale down, we're squeezing the shoulders back, careful, let it roll forward, and we exhale, push away. We inhale, lowering with control, shoulders squeezing back, and we exhale, push away. Cool, keep going. Inhale, control it down, pressing into the index finger. Exhale, push away. Inhale, control it down. Good. Careful not to over push at the top, hey? So we don't want the shoulders to round. We want the chin tucked in and we want the mid back nice and long. In, tuck your bum under, Chantal. Yep, rib to hip connection. Good, nice. Pressing up. Bring it up onto your toes, Ebony. Good. Down on the inhale, up on the exhale. Sam, try not to let your head drop. Looking really good, Sharon. Try not to let the elbows turn out to the side though. Keep them in line. Keep your elbows in position. Last 2, team. 2. Row shift your hands back 1 inch. Yep, now bring your chest forward. Better. Elbow position's much better now. Last 1. Woo-woo! Taking a break. Now my reward for you, given that you've done so much on your hands in this Pilates class, is to do your plank on your forearms. Aren't I friendly? Is that not the best? Cool, so I'm bringing my timer over now. We are going to do, because for some of you we've not done Pilates together before, I'm not going to be completely horrible. We're not going to do a minute. We're going to do 30 seconds on, 15 seconds off, and then 30 seconds on again. So you get a break in between your 1 minute plank. That's me being kind to you. Are you all ready for this? There is nothing complex about a plank. If you can get your joints aligned and stacked nicely, so shoulder right on top of elbow, hands pressing through the floor, you can use your body's anatomical preferences to make this work for you. Push your heels away, tuck the tailbone under and lengthen through the spine. I'm hitting the start now. Go. Elbows under shoulders, really energize the heels, tuck the tailbone under, keep the rib to hip connection. Belly button lifting into the low back. Back of the neck is nice and long, and the shoulders are wrapping into the ribs. You hang in there, keep going. You are halfway through your first plank, guys. Looking amazing. Really nice. I'm going to give you some games to play in the second one. Try and scoop your tailbone under a little bit more, keeping that rib to hip connection. Good. Careful that your head doesn't drop down, Chantel. Done. 30 seconds. Break. We got 10 more seconds break, then we're back in it again. Cool. Counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pick her up, plankies. Now for this one, we're going to take a little bit of movement. You can rock forward onto the tiptoes and then back, energizing the heels. Forward onto the tiptoes and back. Now be careful that your back isn't arching here or you're not curling the shoulders too much. Keeping that head nice and level as you shift forward and back. You can stick with that game if you're finding it's distracting you and it's helping. Otherwise, you can lift your right heel just a touch and then pop it back down. Then lifting your left heel just a touch, pop it back down. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees down, child's pose. Planking is done. Pilates is done. All the hard work for today, finito. All right. So rolling up through the spine. We're going to start with a quadricep stretch. We can do 2 at once. 2 legs at once. So just make sure that your knees aren't splaying out wide to the side. We want the kneecaps in line with the hip bones. We're going to take the weight in the hands behind the back, and you're going to push the knees down and squeeze your bottom. Keep the shoulders back and down. Cool. Keep the tailbone tucked. Pushing long through the fronts of the hips. Just stretch out the fronts of the thighs. Wonderful. Sitting back down on your feet. Interlace the fingers behind your back. Press the arms away. Roll the shoulders back and down. Lengthen through the spine. Breathe in. And start to fold forward over the hip creases. Breathing out. If your forehead can come to the floor, amazing. If it can't, don't worry. I want you to now squeeze into the shoulders. Keep extending those arms up, up, up. Careful that the shoulders don't drop down here. We want to squeeze into the middle of the back and extend out through the arms. And pulling through those arms is going to lift you all the way back up. And release them. Give the arms a shake. Great. We're going to sit on our butts now. This is my left leg, but to you it would look like the right leg. So I'm going to cue what you see rather than what I do. So this is my right leg extended. This is my left foot on my thigh. Your right hand is going to come across and sit on the left hip crease. Your left arm is going to bend and reach back. And as we exhale, we're going to extend it overhead. And I now want you to slide your right arm away. Slide it away so your shoulder drops lower than your ear. We create space. Good. Roll your chest up to the ceiling. Keep breathing here. Find the back of the neck nice and long. Try and tuck your chin up towards your shoulder. Good. Sitting all the way back up. Bring your hands to the floor, roll the shoulders back, turn towards that right leg, then bring the arms forward and up, big breath in, folding over the hip down towards the ground, breath out. Wrap the shoulders away and lengthen through the spine. Releasing, rolling up, take this right foot over behind your left knee. Make sure both butt cheeks are on the floor. We're going to rotate to the right. Your left arm will push that right knee away and your right hand will come to the ground. So I want you to get as tall as you can through the torso. Breathe in and then wrap it to the right. Breathing out. Oh, twisting is the best. Coming back to the center. I'm going to switch the legs now. So your left leg is going to come out straight. And your right foot is going to come into your thigh. This is your left arm. It's going to scissor across that right leg. Your right elbow is going to bend and pull back. Take a breath in and reach it long over the ear as you breathe out. Roll it up to the ceiling and make sure that left arm is really extending through the lap.
pressing down through the hip crease. And that's going to get into your low back of the side. Take that chin up to the shoulder a little bit more to lengthen the spine and support the head. Bring both arms up as you sit up. Rotate to the left, bring both hands down. Cool. So we're going to feel that left thigh pull back into the hip socket. We're going to rotate all the way with a straight back. Arms are coming up, we breathe in. And we're folding down along that left leg, breathing out. Lift the chest, shoulders back, inhale. And folding into the stretch, exhale. Enjoying that one. And slowly coming up, bringing that left foot over behind the right knee, making sure both butt cheeks come to the ground. We're going to wrap it around to the left. Your right arm is going to push the left knee away. The right hand is on the ground. Get tall as you can, take a breath in, and then twist to the left, breathing out. Coming back to the center, we're going to stack the knees now. Roll over them, tuck the toes. We're going to create a gap between both the knees and the ankles. Send the heels back until they almost touch the ground. Keep your chin on your chest. Keep a C shape through the spine as we press the heels down. Let the head to hang heavy. Nod it yes. Shake it no. Keeping your C curve here, crown of the head pointing straight down to the ceiling. Tailbone is starting to point up towards the ceiling. Now, seeing how much we can keep our hands on the ground, straighten into one leg as much as your body will allow, and then bend that knee. I'm going to do that on the other side. Straighten into the other leg, and then bend that knee. One more time each side. Straightening into one leg, keeping the hands on the floor. Relax. Straighten into the other leg, and relax. Now, we're going to release the shoulders and the head, and one vertebrae at a time, slowly roll up and stack the spine. Tailbone is going to tuck under, right over the ankles. And one vertebrae at a time, we're rolling up. At the top, the shoulders rise up, squeeze back and slide down. We draw the chin in as we extend through to the crown. How do we feel, guys? Good work. Pilates 1